Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and the other day Apple released iPadOS 18.1 Beta 1 to give us a sneak peek into Apple Intelligence to try that out, see how it works, and it's available on supported devices. What that means, as you can see here, it's available on M1 and later iPads. It's not available in the EU or China, and you do have to have your device language and Siri language set to US English. If you have all those criteria met, you're good to go, and you can actually try this out with Apple Intelligence. So currently it's available to developers. The public beta could be coming later, but Apple hasn't said if there will be a public beta, but it's a sneak peek into what we're getting after the release of iPadOS 18 in September. This will probably release in October. Now, if you're wondering how to update to this version, if we go into our settings and then we go to General and then Software Update, let's switch to dark mode here. Under Software Update, if you haven't installed this already, you'll have a separate section down at the bottom that lets you pick iPadOS 18.1 instead of just iPadOS 18 betas from the top. So if you wanted to install it and you have a supported device, that's how you do it. Now, as far as the build number, let's go back to General, then go back to About. Now, if we go to the menu here on the left, we have a new Apple Intelligence and Siri option. Initially, you'll need to join a waitlist that will be here, and it's per account, not per device. So if you've already got it on your iPhone, you can just go over here if you have the same iCloud developer address and then sign into it here and just turn it on and enable it. You have different options here like you would expect, and at the bottom you have Apple Intelligence and Siri app access. So that's some new updates here. Once that's enabled, then we can check out Apple Intelligence. And currently we have a few things enabled. The first thing is the new look of Siri. If we press and hold the power sleep wake button, and by the way, this is an M4 13-inch iPad Pro, you'll see it comes over the screen and looks really great. If I turn the sound on so you can hear it, let me turn the volume up here and get rid of the screenshot. Let's go ahead and take a listen. I'll turn the microphone once more. Then you can say, what's the weather next week?
I can't check the weather that far out, but here's the forecast for the next 10 days.
How about tomorrow?
Looks like it will be partly cloudy tomorrow.
What was the latest Olympic scores we should know about?
Here's the medal count so far.
And so it works just like you would expect Siri to work, but it doesn't have Siri 2.0 yet. We also have the option to type with Siri or type to Siri. Double tap the bottom here and you'll see this little icon, and sometimes this works properly, sometimes it doesn't. Now in this initial version, typically it works fine, and then if you do a reboot, it will start working. So if I reboot this, let's see if it will work now. Once it's rebooted, if we double tap the bottom here, it brings up the keyboard with a new animation. So let me show you that one more time. It's type to Siri, and then you can ask Siri, what's the weather this evening? And then send. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll try this again. What are the current Olympic scores? And it doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It seems to be buggy. Some people have different experiences with it. But how are you? Type return, it jumps down, hit send, nothing happens. So definitely some bugs here with type to Siri, but it is there. But again, it's early on. Now with iOS 18.1 Beta 1, we had call recording. That does not carry across to the iPad. So there's no option if you're placing a phone call. So let me show you. And if we place a phone call, there's no option to record here on the left. But on the iPhone, if we place the same call, you'll see we have an option in the upper left, press it, and then we can record the call. Once we're done with that, we can stop it and it saves it to notes, then we can look at it later. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's active on the iPad. Maybe it will be in future betas, but it's not here just yet, other than on the iPhone. Now, just like the iPhone, we also get some great writing tools. If we go into notes, you'll see that I have a couple paragraphs here or sentences. If we press and hold on those, maybe we'll just highlight this one here. We now have the option for writing tools. Within writing tools, we have the option to proofread, rewrite, switch it to friendly, professional, or concise. And you'll also see summary, key points, lists, and table. If I want key points, it takes a moment and then creates bullet points based off of what I just said or had typed here. If we go back, we have the option to proofread. Again, it will give suggestions, and then we can copy that, or we could just change it to maybe something that's a little more friendly overall. So we have the option to change that. So if we hit done, you'll see that we have that. We can do that with the entire thing here. Again, go to writing tools, and we could have it rewrite the entire paragraph or two. And so it rewrote it, and it says this is a new note discussing the latest Apple Intelligence features with Siri 2.0 and the writing tools integrated into it. And I said incorporated, it changed it to integrated. So it will change this just a little bit based on what it thinks is best. And of course, you can change this entirely to whatever works for you. So if I want it more concise, it will rewrite it. Then we can share feedback as well. So if we want to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, here's some information about it, and you can share feedback about what you just wrote and if it was good or not. So this is again in beta, so that's why we have that. Now, if we hit done and we go back to messages, within messages, you'll see that it's giving some suggestions how to reply to the overall conversation. And then it will say it should work on all models, or yes, it will. So we can just tap this and it fills it in, then we can send it. So that's something that it has in addition to the same writing tools. So we can say, but only on 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. And then if we press and hold, select all, we have the same writing tools here that we had before. So proofread, rewrite, change it to friendly, and then it will rewrite it however it thinks is best. And it probably isn't going to change a whole lot here, but you get the idea. Another thing they've changed has to do with emoji. They've brought these back to the larger sort of view where we have stickers and more. So that's something we had with beta 3. They've brought it back with the latest beta. We're not sure if they're going to keep this, but it looks like it's here at least with beta 3, and then they got rid of it. Now it's back with 18.1 beta 1 as well. If we go into the Photos app, on the left, if we're on the Memories page, and then we go to Create, this is all new. And you'll see it says create a memory movie with just a description. 1 year ago, with different people or a location. So I'll say the past couple of years with cars, but no people. And see if it gets that. We'll tap send, and it's got this really great animation. It's sort of switching things out, showing different people, switching them out for cars. It takes a moment, and it says, well, it keeps going through different names and more. So we'll give it just a moment to see what it does here. So it looks like it's still creating it. And there we go. You'll see cruising through memories over the years. So it's going through different cars and other things that were happening throughout the year. So that's a great thing you can do with memories, and the Photos should work like that with searches later on. It doesn't seem to be working 100% yet though. We also have a new focus mode in 18.1 that uses Apple Intelligence. If we go to our focus modes here, you'll see that I've already created one because I created it on the iPhone side, but it's called Reduce Interruptions. And it says Intelligent Breakthrough and Silencing. When Reduce Interruptions is active, intelligently allow important notifications to interrupt you and silence notifications determined not to be important. Any notifications specifically allowed or silenced will always be allowed or silenced. So this is a great addition. You just go into your focus modes here, and then you can turn that one on, and it will change everything based on what it thinks is important to you as it learns over time. Of course, you can still set schedules and more, but it's just something you can enable if you want to. Safari gets an update also. If we go into Safari, and then maybe we go to an article from Mac Rumors, and we go to the Reader view, we'll go to Show Reader. Within the Reader view, we now have the option to summarize the article. Give it just a moment here and it summarizes. Before, we only had that for certain pages. Now it works within the Reader as well. We get similar features in Mail. If we go into Mail, we have a similar summarize feature. Whenever you're in a specific email, pull down, tap on Summarize. It looks through the email and then summarizes it for you. And it says the new Porsche Taycan is more powerful and connected to its driver than ever. So it's just going over the new announcement. And then the same is true when we go in and maybe create an email. Just like we have in Notes and Messages, we also have writing tools here. So we can change this, maybe make it more friendly. You'll see it will change the email, where now it says it's awesome, but it's a bummer that it only works with iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Or you could change it back to something else. So we could revert it back, revert, go to our tools, or go right here. Maybe we'll rewrite it more professionally. Takes a moment. While it is commendable, it is unfortunate that it does not support any other devices. So it gives you an idea how it works. If we cancel this, we'll delete it. We also have one more option for our actual mailbox itself. Tap the option here and we can show priority email. This does work, but it only shows up from time to time. Unfortunately, we don't have some of the new features they showed with the release of this. We can expect those a little bit later. Now, some features that are not included just yet with iPadOS 18.1 Beta 1, probably will be coming a little bit later, is some of the image creation tools. So where you could actually sketch something and then have it generate what you've sketched into sort of a nicer image. If we go down, you'll see that we have the image playground. That's not here yet. And we also don't have Genmoji just yet. Those should be coming a little bit later. As far as using this, well, I've been using this for a few days. Performance seems to be pretty good. It's basically what you would expect from iPad. This is an M4. It doesn't feel any slower than running iOS 18 or iPadOS 18 Beta 4. It feels the same exact way. And that's probably because the release notes show that it's basically the same. If we go into the public-facing release notes, in the notes it actually says, see the iOS and iPadOS 18 Beta 4 release notes for additional details about new features, resolved issues, known issues, and deprecations. Then it just gives a new feature of Apple Intelligence. So it's not really going over anything other than just that. When it comes to battery life, well, I have had to charge it quite a bit, but let's take a look since this was charged to 100% earlier today. If we take a look at today so far, it was charged to 100% at 10:08 a.m. It's now 2:51 p.m. and I've used 1 hour and 45 minutes of screen on time, 35 minutes of screen off time, and I'm down to 77%. So overall, it's doing fine. I think I'll still get 6 to 8 hours. No problems there. And it seems to be pretty efficient that way, at least on this iPad. As far as battery health on this iPad, I'm still at 100% with 33 cycles. When it comes to the next release, well, I would expect iPadOS 18.1 Beta 2. It could be in a week, maybe 2 weeks at this point. We don't really know. Let's go into the calendar. Based on what we've seen in the past, I would expect future betas, iOS 18 and iPadOS 18 Beta 5, as soon as next Monday or Tuesday on the 5th or 6th. As far as iOS 18.1 and iPadOS 18.1 Beta 2, that might be a little while. We don't know if that's going to be next week or the week after if they stagger releases. We also don't know anything about iOS 17.7 if we're going to see that or not. Maybe Apple's done with that. So hopefully we'll see some updates next week and updates to Apple Intelligence as well. As far as anything else, well, that's everything for Apple Intelligence so far, but if you've found anything I haven't mentioned, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.